to you afterwards. All right, we're starting here. So I'm looking at your form here. Obviously, we talked about. I still remember the Dorado. Was it Dorado or Gibraltar? I think it was Dorado and Gibraltar. Was it not?
Yeah.
I think you were a Widow on Dorado, and was it Tracer in Gibraltar? And
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
the spawn camp on the Mercy. Oh my goodness,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
legendary spawn camp. Okay, so you're Diamond 5 now. Awesome, and you're same hero pool, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what hero are we going to be
But
looking at
I
today?
kind of got bored of Sojourn, so
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly Widow and Tracer now because I
Shot.
played like Sojourn all the time.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I mean, it
Um,
makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Is the code that
yeah,
you sent a week ago what you want to use for today?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get it pulled up then. All right. So I just want to do repeat sessions. We could definitely revisit. I want to revisit the forum and go over some stuff. But obviously, it will be more about like, what's changed. Do you have any questions? What are some things you want to go over, rather than me going over every single question? Because a lot of the stuff about training, hero pools, mentality, a lot of that stuff we've spoken about before. So I guess hero pool, you're probably fine. How do you have any questions or anything you want to go over when it comes to your how much and how you're training?
Um, I watched your video talking about you shouldn't like overtrain and like
Mm-hmm.
also have some time to just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, what would you say would be like a good balance? Like, should it be like 50-50 or
Yeah, sure.
90-10, or is it just
I think it
up
depends.
to a
I think it
person?
depends. Yeah, I really think it really depends on the person. So like when I was on my hard grind, I was like almost playing for improvement 24/7 back in like 2018. But that was kind of fun for me at the time, and I was aiming for something, so it worked for me. However, nowadays, I almost don't play at all, so I'm more like 50-50 nowadays, So I'm playing a lot for fun, a little bit for improvement. I think it really depends on the person. What I would say is like a good ballpark is if you're really trying to like play to improve, then I would probably say 5 or 6 days play for improve, 1 or 2 days just play for fun. And when I mean play for fun, I mean specifically you were not practicing anything. You can
Yeah.
play for fun. You're playing to, if you want to play to win, right? It really doesn't matter. Just what we want to do is we want to give your brain a chance to reset. But actually, more importantly, we want to have an idea of like actually how good are you. When you just let yourself put all the things that you've been practicing over the last month all together and just see how you're doing. So if you ever want to like VOD review yourself, right? Those are the games that you want to VOD review. When you're looking for new things to practice. When I'm not thinking about anything, what does my play actually look like? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that makes a lot of
remember
sense.
when we had our very first VOD review and you maybe didn't have an exact idea of what you needed to practice? We want to try and
Yeah,
replicate that sort of like blind playing again and see really where the weaknesses are. Because the problem is if you're only playing to improve, if you're focusing on positioning all the time, your cooldown usage is never going to be very good, right? So what you might do
yeah,
is
yeah.
you might look at your play and be like, oh, my cooldown usage is very bad. I need to practice my cooldown usage. But maybe your cooldown usage is fine. You're just super, super focused on positioning. Do you see what I'm saying? So we want to try and find a non-biased, even good, accurate representation of what you're actually really at in terms of skill at the different things. And I also think it's just like I said, it's a fun mental reset as well. It's good practice to play to win, play for fun occasionally. Does that kind of answer your question, or is there anything else I should
Yeah,
elaborate on?
thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Nope.
Anything else with your training schedule you wanted to go over? Or hero pool for that matter?
No, I'm
Okay,
fine.
okay, sounds good. Sleep is okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel is holding you back? Aim. Did you want to talk about your aim, or just that's just what's holding me back? Nothing really more to say.
No,
Okay. Um,
just
Go ahead.
it's gotta do more coax, I guess.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It
Okay.
will come with time.
Sure. Sure. By the way, I don't know if you've seen this new code I found. I like this code. It's a little bit confusing to look at, but if you could set it up, it feels like legitimately like real Overwatch. It's been something that I think has potential, and I would encourage you to like experiment with it, see if it's something that you enjoy.
We'll try it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like super chaotic, and I haven't toyed with like any of the settings, but I was like, at least for like as a support player, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, and then dealing with flankers. Now, is this something that's like more mechanical or understanding, or do you need some tips on how to deal with flankers, or
Um,
what?
we will see this in a ward review. Like, basically the ward is on defense. I think I did fine. I don't remember too much, and I thought this is definitely a winnable game.
Yeah.
And then on attack, we got first held, and the tracer was just on me all the time. And
Okay.
I didn't know how to deal with it.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to go over? Like, do you want to discuss or need tips with or advice with before we go? Because that was mostly all I see in the forum.
Yeah, no general questions of like when we get into the game.
Okay.
Especially on the attack.
Sure. Let's just do it then. And then obviously if we crank through this really fast, and if you have any other codes, or we could maybe do what I did with the other player and come up custom game and come up with some ideas. But yeah, right. We'll have time.
Yeah. I don't have my PC right now on my laptop.
That's
so
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
So I also don't have any other codes, but
that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. Maybe you'll just spectate me playing with it. Okay, so please don't. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let's just ask this. What have you been working on recently with Widowmaker? So you go into this game. What were you practicing at that time, or what have you been practicing around this time?
So whenever I see Genji, I'm just like, okay, keep attention to the Genji. And I guess I just kind of applied it to Tracer here. To like always keep my distance, make sure she cannot reach me easily.
Okay.
And
I remember when we spoke on Dorado, it was a lot of like taking your angles and like what positions you should play as Widowmaker and putting more time into that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how.
I also have been practicing that.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's definitely me on Ana, egoing the Widowmaker. So we can kind of talk a little bit about what you're doing right now, because you're kind of making one of the adjustments that you really should be making whenever you're playing versus flankers. So the quintessential flanker strength, which is kind of coincidental because I just released a video on this today, is mobility with short range, right? We talk about Sombra, you talk about Genji, you talk about Tracer. If you are able to scout them and move away from their flank, usually that flank loses value, right? Because like a Tracer at this range, it doesn't do any damage at all, right? So if you were to make a micro rotation to kind of increase the distance between yourself and the enemy team, it's not just, oh, you know, I'm on Widowmaker, obviously it's good for me to play range, but it's also like, it's also bad for her, right? So let's see what happens here. So even just like your rotation from here to here, as long as you have a sight line here, it seems very reasonable.
I'm gonna get my top turret. Oh, never mind. Shouldn't have missed that.
Now let me ask you a question. Where is that Tracer? Where is she?
Behind me.
Yeah, this is where you need to go like Jedi Master mode. You know what I'm saying? Like you, especially as a Tracer player, right? You know where she is. Yeah. She's doing one of two things. She's either behind your Ana and Baptiste on high ground, or she's behind you. And you saw her on your left, right? So you know where she's at right now. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. You see?
Yeah.
We knew it. So much of doing this is anticipation and reacting to these things, right? Because right now, it's a little too late. I think you're in trouble. And I'm also a little bit concerned because you're actually gravitating towards where you saw her last, which is not what you want to be doing, right? If anything, it'd be going further this direction, right? Or
I think I tried to get to my back line. Like go around and grapple. I think that's what I do here.
So your supports take care of you, but even this is like really risky, right? Really risky. So if we want to get into the micro here, what I would recommend is rotate even further here, turn around and ping, and then I need healing, right? And you could take a pot shot from here, right? You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if we want to really dig into the micro here, is there a Venom mine up here? Yeah. Where should your Venom mine be right now?
Yeah, where the Tracer is coming from.
Throw it like right here, you know? Like right here.
Yeah.
And then keep scoping down, listen, maybe rotate to here, you know? Or, I mean, heck, you could even grapple up here. Now, it's going to cost you your grapple, but maybe it's worth doing. Maybe not. At the very least, rotate from here, rotate to here. And then if the Tracer really commits you, you can walk forward and grapple up across here to safety. You see? But the concept
that seems risky with the hog.
Oh, it's definitely risky, but that's part. But there's no. It's either that or you're going to gravitate towards the Tracer. So either that or what you did is okay, but you would need to start pinging and asking for help immediately. So a lot of it is just anticipation, not getting too tunneled on hitting the shot like right there. And what I want you to do as well with micro, I don't want you do not want to scope here. She's too close.
Yeah.
So you're either going to scope between her reloads and then try and get off like a really crazy flick headshot. But if you're scoping in as she's shooting, it is too easy for her to kill you because your hitbox just stops moving. You know what I'm saying? A better Tracer here kills you. You're dead right now, immediately. Your supports don't even have time to heal you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I do think it's okay to occasionally go for the ego shot there, but you need to make sure you're timing it when you either have a little bit of cover or when she's reloading, so that you actually have a chance to get off a shot before she just one clips you in the head. Where's that Tracer? I know you're thinking about her now, but where is
she probably took the Mega and is coming up to me right now. Well, she's on my Ana.
So you could peek this here, do a little SMG, right? Maybe throw a Venomine, force a recall, force a couple blinks, and then go back and relax, right? Maybe even drop for an aggressive angle, right? Tracer is like, Widowmaker is very consistent. You are outside of grapple, and even grapple is not like the most powerful cooldown in the game. You are consistently a threat. Tracer is not. Tracer takes time to set up. Tracer takes time to path. Tracer relies on all of her blinks, relies on her recall, and if she doesn't have any of those things, her value plummets, right? So what you have to do as a Widowmaker is you have to respect the Tracer when she has positioning and when she has recall. And when she no longer has positioning or she doesn't have recall, you no longer have to respect her and you can play exactly how you want. You see what I'm saying? If we were to draw a line graph, Tracer's peaks are really high, but then her values are really low. Your Widow's very consistent. So like right now, Tracer is a big threat. Why? Well, she has a recall and she's in aggressive position and aggressive flank. So we need to give her a little bit of respect. But like now, is she a threat to you any longer?
No.
No, her positioning is no longer a threat to you or your team, so I would not be here. I think this is not the worst thing you could be doing. However, I'm more concerned about what the enemy team will do now that they're distracting you, your Ana, and your Rein. You know what I'm saying? I want you to
Why
go
is
back.
my Rein even here?
I don't know. This is what I'm concerned about, though. You should be guarding these guys now. You see?
Yeah.
Too much attention. Way too much space. Way too much attention in space here.
I thought she would be like so much out of position.
Right, but it's
my
Tracer.
Ana.
It's Tracer, you know? She's got 2 blinks and a recall still in her pocket. And then now if we turn around here, oh man, you know, you see?
Yeah.
You give way.
Yeah.
Once she's no longer in an aggressive position, she just isn't a threat. Like everybody knows like, oh, the crazy shots in the Tracer, but this is objectively bad strategical Overwatch. Watch this here. You see? You see?
Should be an easy shots, yeah.
Easy shots, and even if you don't hit the shots, you prevent them from walking forward. You prevent them from taking space, so then when your team finishes clearing out the Tracer, which by the way, you didn't help with at all, then you will actually have that Ash Mercy still in a bad spot. Because I'm concerned here. I think your Torb is just dead, honestly. This is way too much. And then the problem now is then your team has gone, oh crap, we've messed up, we have to go back and deal with point. And now, whose effective range are you?
That's just egoing.
This is egoing, right? Like this is, if you guys are equally skilled, or even if you're a little bit better, you still lose this. You have to be significantly better than this Tracer to win this duel, because you are on top of her. I mean, that's just ego, right? You earned the shot. Well done. But you and I both know how that goes most of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a favorable 1v1 for you. It's not a favorable range for you. Nor was it a favorable time. That Tracer had basically given up. Reset your Venomine as well. I'm not sure where it's placed. Where is it placed? I can't remember where.
That's where you were right now. Like at the Mega, where the Tracer came from.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I think that's probably a fine spot for it. Now, they're on Reaper. Right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your positioning? Think really carefully here. Look at the comp. Think about where could you be right now?
We should be on the high ground.
Maybe. Well, if you're on, if you're on, you can't see anything though if you're on high ground, right?
Should like watch over my supports, I guess.
Maybe, but are your supports really in any danger right now?
No.
It's just a tough question. I'm gonna go back. Why are you so far back right now?
Because there's not really something that can contest me on range, just the Ashe.
Could you just not sit here? Or just take a sightline here? I feel like here you could ego more, to be honest with you. Like here, I don't feel like your sightlines are on anything, and it's almost as if you're like hiding, but there's nothing to hide from right now, if that makes any sense. I wonder if you could swing wide here, you know? Put a little bit of ego, you know? I think the Reaper swap was really, truly, really bad. I think there's very few heroes that could have been worse than Reaper here. And your Torb and Rein are like fighting, and you're just so far back. I think you could be aggressively holding this position here. And you see like how like you've just kind of like let them walk forward. And honestly, if I'm coaching your supports, I'm saying the same thing. Your supports are trolling right now. Like, I don't know why we're playing so passive here. I don't understand it. You just like let their comp just run out, and you had a Widowmaker, and we just didn't do any damage like at all. You like literally let them walk on the point, and you have like, do you see like what your Ana and Bap are doing? It's nothing, right? Like nothing, no damage, no pressure, no nothing. You just like let them walk forward, and your positioning here. I mean, this is probably where high ground would be better, right? Because this is a better sight line now. But you're stuck on the floor. I don't know. You know, positioning here could have been a lot better. It looks almost as if you're playing in a Widow duel, or you were scared of a Tracer, but there was no more Tracer, nor was there a Widow. Nice shot. I also feel the Infocytes were very late here as well. I think Infocytes at about this point, even as soon as you hear the Nano, probably would have made more sense. Give your team information on the flanks, like on what's going here. Give you information on this here. In fact, I actually want to see if that would have changed the course of battle. Yeah, probably. I think your Ana gets caught with the pants down. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but I felt like versus their composition, you could have played a longer sight lane much more aggressively without being at risk of getting picked off. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You seem
so it's not about just being as far as possible, but also like it's okay to be closer to them if it means being like more aggressive and still
just take
decently far away.
Just take the best sight lane that you can. I don't think you're taking the best sight lane that you can given where your team is fighting. Like your Ryan and Torb were not like fighting on point. They were up here, and yet you were like hiding way behind the wall back here. You know what I'm saying? Why? Like there's nothing to be scared of. Interesting. that was something. Yep. Ego. This is good. You see the problem here again, right? Remember what we were doing with the tracer?
Just walk on the right side.
Right, just here. If this guy is in here, the odds of him peeking this are probably pretty low, and it's like a one-time done thing. Drop from here if you need to get a better angle, and ego these guys. I mean, obviously don't stand out in the open here. Maybe you play like here, but you need to control space. You need to be like controlling a long-form sightline. You guys are giving this Reaper and this Tracer so much respect. It's actually unbelievable. And once again, like, look at their positioning here. Do you see how they've walked up?
For free, yeah.
This shouldn't happen. Like, when you are a good Widowmaker, it should be difficult to walk out beyond the statue. You know what I'm saying? Or even like swing wide ever without getting your head blown off, or at least feeling like you're gonna get your head blown off. And now it's kind of too late, right? Now do you see like how they've been able to close the distance? And that's exactly what you don't want them to do. You needed to play to your strengths there. You needed to abuse the sightline, play long range, make it hard for them backline to walk forward, and instead we just gave up space. And this has happened multiple fights in a row. Good try. But, you know, at that point, like, once they get on top of you there, do you notice that they didn't have to use a single ultimate? It's not like they just used, like, 6 ultimates. They'd use Diva Bomb, but it didn't even get anybody. But once they've closed the distance, you were just a complete non-factor, you know? You did nothing. And that's the problem. Okay. Any questions so far?
No?
This is a nuanced concept, but it's important to understand.
Yeah. I think I definitely need to work on that. Again, I could be peeking Ashe and Anna.
Right. You can't do anything about this here. But this is where I would be like, maybe I need to drop. Maybe I need to grapple across and peek here, right? Now you're like, oh, I don't want to use my grapple. Well, okay. What are you scared of using grapple versus? The Diva? The Reaper? Let me ask you a question. Where's the Diva Reaper right now? Right? They're not a factor. So use your grapple aggressively. We need you involved in the fight. And right now, you're not involved in the fight. This is good. This is better than nothing, right? But obviously, we got a little too close. Unfortunate timing seems to be our curse. Nah. Just put your Venomine down. And honestly, put your Venomine down and ignore him. Don't forget about him, but don't ignore. But ignore him. You know what I'm saying? Just don't.
Yeah.
This is the same thing as a Tracer, where it's like, yes, you might get the kill, but it's gonna take so long, take so many. I mean, yeah, take so many resources, take so long. You guys literally almost got. He almost got a 3K there, right there. Meanwhile, let's find out what's happening elsewhere. This Diva should be demech. This soldier should be dead. You know, and so on.
Yeah.
I would be very frustrated if I was your Ryan. This is good. This is good, right? This is a nice sight line for a hero. Like, if you're not taking a Widow duel, and there's not a flanker on your butt 24/7, positioning with a Widowmaker, it really isn't that hard. You look for a long sightline, and you do something. You could just be a little bit creative with it. Like, you'd be kind of like, you know, okay, we're gonna go here, and then maybe I'll rotate to here, or maybe I'll peek here, or, you know, maybe I'll go for a grapple shot up here to go get like a different sightline. I don't know. You know, there's really nothing here. Like, this is fine. Good in for sights. It's fine. Like, you're hitting shots. Like, it's obviously you're not hitting headshots, but you're baiting attention. You're forcing resources. You're doing a little bit of damage. You're forcing cover. They're all spooked, right? That Reaper's acting weird. And again, here, Reaper, ignore him. Ignore him. Don't forget about him, but ignore him. That's good. And then now, nice. Like here, yeah, just walk up the Hacker. Walk. Go get him. Don't wait. Go get him. It seems like you tend to get sticky feet. You know what I'm saying? You don't move. Yeah. You don't move when there's like.
I want them to walk into my cross.
Right. Unless they're a Reaper or a Tracer, and then you grapple into them. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, right? Okay, where's the fight happening right now? Well, is your sightline good?
No.
I just don't feel like it is. Like, I feel like you might need to drop here. I mean, maybe you need to walk forward here and be sneaky and take a pot shot. Maybe if you have your grapple, it's okay, right? If you do have your grapple. This fight's lost. Back out. Nice grapple. Oh. Again, creativity here. Oh, nice. 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 I don't know if it's just me, but that shot on the Resing Mercy always is harder than it looks. You overthink it, you know? Nice shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't, honestly though, I feel like, okay, I mean, you know what? You hit the shot. I got nothing to say. Just be careful. Just be careful.
Yeah.
The guy is dead either way. He made a huge mistake. Good. It's not hard, right? It's not hard. You hold a sight line, they walk into it. There's no Widow, there's no like strategy behind it. You just shoot them. I don't think this was necessary.
Yeah.
You knew where they all were.
Fight already won.
Yeah, fight was already won, and you also knew exactly where they were as well. So there's no information gleaned from that. Okay.
They're fighting inside, and this is weird. I can't really get an angle there.
This is fine, right here.
Like, yeah, I felt this is the best they can do.
Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. This is mostly on your team, fighting outside of your sight line here. That's a huge, huge, huge mistake. Like, if you're playing with a Widowmaker, you need to play around her cover, because she is the most powerful DPS in the game if she can see you. Even if she doesn't, not ending headshots, she can't do anything about this here. That being said, this angle is about as good as you're going to get. I mean, you see, you're doing damage, right? This is fine.
Yeah.
See, I mean, this is fine. Nice. I wouldn't hesitate to drop a Venom Mine here as well. I know it's only 75 damage, but, you know, might as well. And don't forget it's team scouting as well, too. Your entire team can see it, I believe.
Yeah.
This is silly.
Yeah.
Just go here, you know? It's just a little difference, right?
But
Nice
you
shot.
know, I'm pretty sure it's just me who can see.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. Well, then never mind then. Yeah. Careful with cover. Whoa! Oh! I was fully expecting to see Nano Cole. Nice.
Makes it easier to hit.
Yeah, exactly. Nano Baby Diva. All right. Okay. So reasonable sightlines. Reasonable sightlines. I think most of your issue is that you have not enough urgency with getting a good sightline. It's not so much that I need you to feed, but like you have these nice, juicy, long sightlines, and like you said, you prefer to just kind of sit and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. And wait, and you know, the fight's going and going and going, and the only time that there's any sort of urgency, ironically, is when there's a flanker, and you grapple into them rather than trying to rotate away from them. And I think that's something that we need to work on. Do you have any questions so far? Mm-hmm. Let's look at this tracer.
Okay, so basically what's gonna happen is the soldier's gonna sit on top right high ground with Mercy Pocket. And like I wanted to play around my supports, like my backline, so when the tracer dives me, they can like help me. But at the same time, I wanted to hide from the soldier while I fight the tracer. But then I would be like isolating, and then I'm like all alone. So I really struggle to find a position here.
Okay, I mean, to be honest with you, this is hard. I mean, Widow attack is not very common on this map for this exact same reason, because it's your sightlines are very like linear, and even if the fight goes to point, then your sightlines are still pretty tight, right? So this might just be that Widowmaker isn't the best pick here, but also let's try and figure out what we could do about it. Wow. Wait, you survive? Wait, you survive? I was skipping the next fight. No way!
2 HP is all I need.
Oh my goodness, look what she does! She blinks through! No way, man! No way! Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So I do like this position. If you're able to get into this rotation with like a Venomine here and get any sort of support, you can easily control their soldier and high ground. Okay.
Now I'm like split from my support, so
yeah. I mean, you're already this fight's lost. I mean, this fight's lost. You're too close. You're hiding from the soldier. Your BAP is dead. You know what I'm saying? So there's not a whole lot now. In theory, if I would pray that my Reinhardt would be smart enough to clear out the soldier mercy. That would help us a lot. But I guess for what you could have done here, I mean, it's just supposed to basically just don't get surprised by the Tracer, right? Assume the worst. Assume Sombra, assume Tracer, assume Widow. Right. And now Tracer's dead. Good damage. Keep walking. Here comes Tracer. Yeah, see, this is just not good enough. You know what I'm saying? This is just not good enough. It doesn't matter if you know that she's there or if you have Venomine. This is just too close. Unless you literally know the choke, the exact spot that she's going to walk out to, and you have your crosshair fully charged at that location, there's just no way that you can win this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think we could definitely question whether grappling up here was the best decision in the first place. Maybe just simply walking to here would have been better. Or walking to here instead would have been better. Like, I like that we're walking, so grapple first. Probably not the best, but then, okay, you use it. Unfortunate. You hear footsteps here, Venomine, and drop and run. Drop and run. Drop and run maybe back here and hide. Maybe drop and run here and hide and hold this sightline here and listen. Maybe drop and run towards your supports, towards your Reinhardt. I don't know, but this is not it. This is just a guaranteed death. Because this is the problem, is like you survive, but it's a lot harder. There's a much higher chance of you dying, and then like look at where you are right now, right? You're not scoping in, and you're in a much, you survive, but now you're doing a lot less than if you'd simply run away earlier and maybe had taken some pot shots at this Orisa in from a safer position, right? And now it's like, see, it's just the ego, you know. And it's like if you don't hit that one shot, your contribution is nothing. This Orisa is literally just walking forward without taking any damage, you know? There you go. Oh, that's unlucky. And then we forget about Soldier. Now we're just too close. Yeah, I just think we're not playing our range very well, and we're just showing a little bit of ego with our positioning. I think that's the simplest way of putting it. You were expecting to hit these grapple shots instead of just taking good, smart sight lines and using that grapple as like an escape cooldown. You just have to respect how much of an advantage that Tracer has at that range. You know what I'm saying? And so then, you know, respect that duel when you need to, and then when you then put out more damage on that Orisa than that Tracer can do to you. Right? Because if you think about it, if you'd run away from that Tracer and taken a scope on that Orisa earlier, that Orisa probably dies. You know? That Orisa probably dies. Yeah. You know? So it's not about beating the Tracer necessarily in the 1v1, so much as playing in a way to where it's hard for that Tracer to do what she needs to do, meanwhile you are doing what you need to do. Right? It's like, as a Zenyatta, sometimes I could beat Tracers in a 1v1s, but sometimes I just beat Tracers by denying them the ability to 1v1 me while I get value elsewhere. Right? That makes me a better player. I don't have to ego everyone that I play to be a better player. You don't need to beat Tracer in a 1v1 to beat Tracer, you know? Like right now, what you're doing right now is in way more value than anything a Tracer can do. Unless she gets on top of you. And now it's become a 1v1 again, and coincidentally, this hero is going to win these 1v1s, right? Could not have been worse timing. that really just completely killed my coaching vibe right there. Shame on you. Okay. Play to your strengths, though. Play to your strengths, because the idea is that like if you want to get to masters this Widow, you're going to need to be able to beat Diamond Tracers, right? However, those Diamond Tracers turn into Masters Tracers, and we start all over again, right? It doesn't matter, like, unless you are like in Overwatch League smurfing in a low Masters lobby, it just doesn't make any sense to do that. Because if they're as you get better, they're going to get better too. So you need to be objectively improving your play holistically, not just your ability to 1v1 Tracers.
How do I get the Soldier of High Ground though if he just doesn't run?
You can't. Either you hit the headshot or you just or if you are, I will say this, if you are peeking him like this, what is he really doing right now?
Yeah, not much. He's scared of me.
Right. Oh, he gets the kill and he's like, oh, you see this? He's like, oh shoot, what? You see this? You see?
Yeah.
So he's either doing nothing or he's peeking you. And then he ends up running away. You see that? So, so you just answered your own question. Do what you just did. Do what you just did. That's how you get him off of high ground. You know, and optimally, you'd have a tank line that's able to contest that or takes the time to clear out that. Like your Reinhardt's just swinging on Orisa 24/7. It's just the typical platinum brain dead Reinhardt play. But you know, if he's able to clear off that high ground, then that makes your job even easier. And again, like I don't understand. I don't understand what we're doing, because this isn't just, oh, we don't know where Tracer is right now. She could be flanking us soon, right? We know she's in spawn. But do you really like this sightline? I mean, look at this.
Yes, no.
It's rough, you know? Like, look at these crosshair movements that you're going to have to make, unless you've got, like, 15,000 sensitivity. And even then, like, you've got him off of high ground. Just peek here. You know? Throw your Venom Mine up there and peek here. This is great. I mean, look at this. A Valking Mercy is not a problem, right? Guess what? Valking Mercy is not a problem if you just play back here. Like, let's see how many kills that you would have gotten from here. Ana would have died. Oh, damage boosted Orisa shot. She's dead too, right? That's 600 damage. So actually, she might not have died with armor. But,
she has shield.
Yeah, she would have survived. But yeah, but she would have been 1 HP. Soldier maybe dies? Maybe no. Mercy definitely dies. Valk Mercy definitely dies. 1 body shot, she's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit the body shot with her flying in the air at close range. And then now we have a Tracer on us again. So once again, we're going to be doing nothing. Oh my gosh. You were getting absolutely deadlifted by either your mechanics or your honest mechanics. But hey, guess what? Soldier's on top of you. And now Nano Valk. And then now we're running away. And now they get the res. And then you see that this is a disaster. This is everything that could have gone right has gone right. And it's still a disaster. Do you see this?
Yeah.
I mean, look at
that. And I
that.
definitely need to hit that kill at Ana.
Look at that. You almost killed the Ana. And even though you don't kill the Ana, that shot alone is like the most valuable thing you've done so far, because now the Orisa might die. She almost dies. Because you actually just zoned out the Ana, right? But oh my gosh. But now we're all distracted. We're not in a position to clear Soldier. We didn't have get our Venom Mine set up. We had no scouting. Now they're on top of us again. Like, you ever heard like it ain't that deep, bro? You ever heard that, like that meme, you know? It ain't that deep, mate. Like, it really ain't that deep. Like, I think it's just play your range, play your sightline, and don't be surprised by flankers. And to give you credit, I don't think you've been surprised by flankers this entire map, outside of the very first fight, on attack or defense. Yeah. You've known where they were. You were ready for them. But you just ran after them. like it's like, you know, they never surprised me. I surprised them. And I think like that mindset is something you have to be really careful about, unless you're playing to your advantages. Like if you want to go for the clip on the Tracer here, right? If you want to go for the shadow play, NVIDIA, you know, the sick 30-second thing that's going to go on your montage, right? You're going to Venom Mine here, and you're going to sit and you're going to scope right here, right? You're not going to walk out here or push in here or clomp around your boots and jump around an SMG and then grapple up. No, you're going to, at least if you're going to cheese, do it properly. You know what I'm saying? But right now it's just not good. This is good. Every time he peeks, it's a dice roll, you know? Every time he peeks. I mean, do you see how, like, right now, you're not doing... It doesn't feel like you're doing a lot, but you're still, like, doing okay. You're still doing okay damage. You're still controlling the sightline, you know? Because you're scared of Tracers, so you're like, oh, I feel like I'm doing nothing. Well, first off, you should definitely be Venom Mining this, by the way. Second off, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Look at this honest positioning. Look at this Mercy. Mercy has to play perfect cover. Orisa fortify. Orisa has to be careful. Imagine if you had Venommined that. How much easier that engagement would have gone. You could have realistically. So here's how we talk about the micro engage, right? You Venomine this. You could take one shot and then SMG. Then you can grapple. She's going to recall, right? Your SMG plus Venomine will always force recall, right? So then you have your grapple and the recall animation to actually scope and take a shot, right? Remember we talked about when you want to be scoping and taking a shot? Well, during recall animation is perfect because you could predict and it also gives you time to charge up a shot without holding perfectly still, getting your head blown off. So I think like this is like if you're gonna get dove by a tracer, this is how you want it done. We just want you to have a recall, Venomine, excuse me, because you see how look how many blinks she has to use. 1, 2. She has to use 2 blinks just to get on top of you. Imagine if you had SMG and Venomine here, right?
Yeah.
This is okay. Obviously good shot.
Thank you.
And then do we just see 9?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you sing? What needs to be practiced? Obviously, we talked more about a very specific thing with Widowmaker, but there were definitely some broad implications as well. What do you sing?
So, if I'm not scared of anything like a Tracer, Genji, or Widow, then I should be more aggressive and don't allow them to just walk forward for free.
Hold the best sightline that you can. Yes.
Yeah. And whenever there is like a Tracer, Genji, whatever, then I need to be like as far as away as possible, and then like whenever they are not able to get on top of me, like let's say Tracer just used recall or something, then I just ignore her and don't chase after her.
Right. Find those spikes of power to respect them, and then when those spikes of power have passed, you can disregard them. Right. Exactly. I think it's like always finding the balance of like how much do I want to respect the Tracer, to the point do I want to respect her so much that I take terrible positions because I always have to be running away, versus like, okay, I respect her, but I also think this is a really powerful sightline. I'm gonna place my Venomine and hold it. Like think about like let's go like here, like remember honestly really like the very first point, defense, right? So like you were like holding here, right, to avoid Tracer, but to really avoid Tracer you would like position all up in here or like run away all the way over here, but this is horrible, right? So like I don't want to respect. So it's like finding that balance between respecting Tracer, playing to your strengths, playing to your range as much as you can, and then knowing when those power spikes are gone. Yes, you can pursue the kill, but sometimes it's just better to take that downtime to actually just ego the rest of the team, who is easier to kill than the Tracer, if that makes any sense. Okay. Let's type this up. So we have take smarter, better sight lines when there are no threats. Dive, Widow, Tracer, etc. Right. Obviously, things like Widowmakers complicate things. Okay. Versus flankers. Respect their range. Short, and play around their spikes, their power spikes. Respect them when they have cooldowns, position, then ignore when not threatening. I think that was mostly it that I saw. Do you have anything else that you throw in that list?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think overall it was pretty reasonable. Oh, Venomine.
Sometimes Venomine, yeah.
Yeah, I think there were at least probably 30-40% of your fights could have done with a better, or actually using your Venomine a little bit, just for a little bit of discouragement. Like we said, like the Venomine and the Tracer, allowing you to SMG the Tracer to force the recall is like actually phenomenal. Like it's actually really important that you get that.
Yeah, also no scoping when Tracer is like fighting me.
Care when scoping when Tracer has clip. Yeah, you need to like try and find downtime between the clips when you can actually shoot, whether that's like using cover or recall or whatever. Okay. Well, I mean that's all I have. So, but I don't want to just finish. Well, let me think here. Well, first off, let me ask you: is there anything that you would like to look over? Are there any maps that you'd like to look over? Any other questions that you have? Because we could either do that, or we can call it early, and then we can have a 10, 13-minute call some other time, or you can send me extra questions, or we could do the replay code rule, but you send me like 2 replay codes. We go over like 6 or 7 fights over written feedback. It's up to you. I want you to get your money's worth.
I think we just do you do like live coaching as well?
I do.
Like
Yeah.
obviously I can't play right now,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I
maybe
do.
just
I do a little bit. I don't do it a lot because I think its return on investment is low, but it sometimes can be useful. We could do that sometime
maybe
if you
like
want.
once I got like my PC set up,
Sure.
then just play like one round, one
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
whatever.
Works for me. Let's do it. Let's do it. Just when you get your PC set up, reach out and we'll get like a 15-minute time slot or whatever, and we'll do something like that. Maybe we can like we
Sounds
could
awesome.
talk about positioning or something like that. All right, mate. I will send you this